Normally held in person, today's CareerQuest TN It's All About Business event is a virtual career exploration event for high school students and includes mock interviews, a fashion show, and the business battle, an entrepreneurial pitch contest for students. And this morning we want to welcome Joe Pearce, Executive Recruiter for Ballad Health, and Mark Stevens, Director of Special Projects for the 1st Tennessee Development District, to discuss what will be happening during today's event. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Joe, I'm going to start with you, and let's talk about this because, you know, you got as a professional recruiter, why is showing students the proper way to dress for an interview so vitally important?
Well, I am constantly in communication with hiring managers, and they are giving me feedback on how candidates dress, what they look like in an interview, and if I can give any education on the front end to help those interviewees with what they're wearing, I feel like it's a win-win for every organization because they come more prepared for the interview.
And Mark, you've been asked to MC the fashion show in the past at Northeast State when they've been held there. What kind of questions have you received from the students about the fashion show?
Well, they really run the gamut, and I will freely admit some of them have stumped me. So it's always been a great opportunity for Joe to step in and use her experience as a recruiter to knock some of the more challenging questions out of the park. In particular, one for a young lady who had a really interesting take on how to personalize her fashion, regardless of the circumstance or the work she was doing. And it was a really impressive demonstration of Joe's skill and expertise watching her answer that question, which frankly left me stumped.
Now, Mark, I'm going to stay with you real quick because, you know, the fashion show, the videos of the fashion show were actually sent to teachers. And as adults, we need those tips as well. When you're dealing with the adults, the teachers, what tips did you share with the teachers about this?
Well, it was really very basic things. You want to be aware of what's behind you. You want to wear a full set of clothes when you're Zooming. You want to make sure that the lighting works for wherever you're going to be Zooming into a meeting. And just really simple, really basic things that seem very obvious, but maybe I think we've forgotten over the course of COVID. You know, there's so much distance now between us as we conduct business. You start to forget things. So this was really more of an opportunity to revisit just some basics for the students and, frankly, the teachers that are part of this event as well.
And Joe, back to you. You know, what career options? Y'all have got so many different career options that you're incorporating into CareerQuest. How do you decide which options to incorporate into this day?
So Mark and I kind of put our heads together and we utilized our friendships and our colleagues, and we kind of enlisted these groups to help us with the fashion show. Since this is all about business, that's what we focused on. We pulled people out of my office, employed professionals out of Mark's office, and we congregated together in downtown Johnson City to make it a really nice project.
And for you, Joe, how has COVID impacted the interviewing process for you as a professional? And also, do you think some of the changes that you've had to make, are they going to stick around, or are you going to go back to the business as normal when COVID is over with?
Well, I just think about how I'm talking to you today. It's very different from what we saw a year and a half ago. And I think that interviewing has changed for any business professional, and not only just the interviewing process, but this may be the way that you do your day-to-day business now. You may not be meeting anybody in person, so it is definitely a skill that you need to have to be able to present yourself on Zoom or on WebEx. And I think that these changes are probably going to be here to stay for most professionals because we're seeing a lot of business professionals that are working from home. So I think that the changes, they're going to stick around.
And Mark, for you, you know, having virtual meetings all the time, how's that changed what you do?
Well, it's this technology is both a blessing and a curse, to be honest. We're able, through the district, to now be in more places than ever before because travel is no longer a hindrance on the number of meetings you can attend. Now, at the same time, travel is no longer a hindrance on the number of meetings you can attend. So we often find ourselves, especially at the 1st Tennessee Development District, Zooming back to back into things, which is great. It gives us a way to communicate with the stakeholders across the region, but it can also get a little daunting at times. The travel time, the downtime between meetings from one part of the region to another is pretty valuable to think, process, and plan. But we're meeting our mandate and getting things done. And it's I agree with Joe. I think there are aspects that are going to remain virtual no matter what happens with COVID.
All right. Joe Pearce, Mark Stevens, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. This is a very important day for a lot of students around our region.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. It is CareerQuest 2020. It's all about business. It's happening today. And we'll be back with more Daytime Tri-Cities in just a moment.